Hi, KE friends!
Wow, it is so good to be back together again.
Steven, did I just hear you yawn?
No, what?
Well, we are just starting our service and it seemed kind of rude and I'm pretty sure I heard a yawn.
Hey guys, I think I know where it's coming from. Kylan read that the average yawn lasts 6 seconds, and he's testing out to see if that's right.
So far, it's looking right. You know what else I learned is right?
What?
Hummingbirds can fly backwards. Tiger's skin is striped just like fur.
No
And
way.
you might think all the stars are the same, but each star is a different color depending on its temperature.
Wow.
So many things to think about. Right now, I want to think about how much I love Jesus and I can't wait to sing songs to him.
Love so incredible, unexplainable, that you call me by name. You see me through it all, even when I fall. You love me just the same. Creator of the world, you live in my heart. You know my name and you call me friend. You know my beginning and my end. You love me like I'm one in a million. You love me like I'm one in a million. Ooh, one in a million. You knew me from the start, and you made my heart unique and wonderful. Made with a special plan, guided by your hand. My life is meaningful. Creator of the world, you live in my heart. You know my name and you call me friend. You know my beginning and my end. You love me like I'm one in a million. You love me like I'm one in a million. Ooh, one in a million. Ooh, yeah. You've chosen me to call your own. You chose to make my heart your home. I'm one in a million. You say I'm worthy of your love. Jesus, you'll always be enough. I'm one in a million. I'm one in a million. You know my name and you call me friend. You know my beginning and my end. You love me like I'm one in a million. You love me like I'm one in a million. You know my name and you call me friend. You know my beginning and my end. You love me like I'm one in a million. You love me like I'm one in a million. Ooh, one in a
When I was searching, your love was never far. You made a way to get to me. You were the whisper leading me to your heart. Forever I belong to you. Now I can see clearly, my God, you for me. You won't let go. Your love won't let me down. And I know it's true. Yeah, I know that your love is all around. I believe in you, holding on to you, holding on, and I need you. You listen as I pray. You leave the 99 for me. You paint the sky with promises of your grace. So I will find my way to you. Now I can see clearly, my God, you for me. You won't let go. Your love won't let me down. And I know it's true. Yeah, I know that your love is all around. I believe in you, holding on to you, holding on, and I know you will never fail. I want all of you, you never change. Your love won't let me down. Love won't let me. Holding on, and I know you will never fail. I want all of you, you'll never change. Your love won't let me down. Love won't let me.
Weird but true, the hair for colonial wigs wasn't just from humans.
Oh, I like the bow in this one, I'm not gonna lie.
It also came from goats, horses, and yaks. Horse and yak hair held the best curl. Weird but true. The lights that start a drag race are called a Christmas tree.
Weird but true, some volcanic eruptions are so intense, they create lightning.
Weird but true, cows produce more milk when they listen to soothing music. Weird but true, the human brain generates enough electricity to power a light bulb.
Man, Kylan sure has given us some interesting facts to think about throughout this series.
I know, who would have known that the average yawn lasts 6 seconds?
And where does he come up with all of these fun facts to think about?
That's a great point. You know what I want to think about today? I want to think about what is right.
Yes!
Like how I want to be the best person that I can be.
And how I want to bring more friends to church and to Jesus.
And how maybe we should cut down on our bad snacks forever.
That's a little too far. I love M&Ms and Kit Kats.
Okay, but back to thinking about what is right. There is someone in the Bible that I want to show you about. She sure didn't think what was right when it came to thinking about her brother Moses.
Yes, I know where you're going with this story, but we should give our KE friend some context before we find out what she thought about her brother.
You're right. Let's start from the beginning, with who Miriam is and how she protected her brother first.
Pharaoh was a cruel and strict king. He wanted the Israelites to work as his slaves and build big palaces and temples and pyramids for him. One day, Pharaoh realized that the Israelites were becoming more than the Egyptians. "The Israelites are slaves," Pharaoh said to himself. "If they become too many, they will start a rebellion and overthrow my rulership. I will find a way to get rid of them."
Pharaoh called his advisors together, and they wrote a law that said every Hebrew boy younger than 2 years old had to be fed to the crocodiles in the Nile.
There was a young Hebrew woman who had just had a baby boy. She did not want the soldiers to kill her son, so she made a basket from reeds and covered it with sticky tar to make it waterproof. She told her daughter Miriam to take the basket down to the Nile and hide it between the reeds.
Miriam carried her baby brother down to the Nile and placed his basket on the water. She hid close by where she could watch the basket.
Suddenly, a big Egyptian boat passed by and it caused big waves. The baby and his basket drifted further away from the shore. Miriam could not catch it in time. The basket was already floating downstream.
Oh Lord, please protect my brother, Miriam prayed.
The basket tossed and turned in the waves, and crocodiles swam around it, snapping their jaws.
Then the basket drifted into a quiet part of the river, right in front of Pharaoh's palace. The Egyptian princess saw the basket and told one of her servants to fetch it for her.
When she opened the basket, she saw the baby. He was crying, and she felt terribly sorry for him.
Miriam came closer and said, "Princess, I know a Hebrew woman who would be able to care for this baby." "Go and fetch her," said the princess. "I will call this baby Moses, because I drew him out of the water."
Man, Pharaoh was terrible. He made a law that every Hebrew baby boy under 2 had to be fed to the crocodiles.
Yeah, Moses was one of those boys that was under 2. His mom didn't want that to happen to him, so what did she do?
She put him in a basket and had her daughter Miriam take Moses down to the river.
She stayed close by to her brother to make sure he was okay.
She prayed for protection over her baby brother.
Miriam was amazing. She protected Moses from those alligators.
And she definitely thought about what is right.
Miriam definitely thought about what is right. I know how else we can think about what is right.
Including our friends in a KE game?
Exactly.
Let's play this game. Now that our KE friends got a backstory of who Miriam is, let's talk about a time when she didn't do what was right.
Yeah, God uses Miriam in so many amazing ways.
But unfortunately, there came a time where her thoughts started to change and they weren't very good.
Her thoughts started to change and became negative towards her brother Moses.
She got really jealous and started to say really bad things about Moses.
She also didn't like how Moses was in charge.
Let's see what happens.
So, I've been thinking about Miriam.
Auntie Miriam? She's probably making it rain bingo chips with all of her friends as we speak.
Bingo! Not your Auntie Miriam. Miriam in the Bible.
Never heard of her. Was she a bingo queen too?
Not exactly. She was Moses' sister. And there's a lot in her story that we can learn when we look at her thoughts.
Oh yeah, I know Moses. He was the guy who convinced that mean Pharaoh to let God's people, the Israelites, go free and lead them through the desert for like a zillion years, right?
That's the guy. It was just 40 years.
What? Close enough. And wasn't Moses the guy God told to hold his stick out over the Red Sea and watch it part?
Yep, right again. And his sister Miriam was there to see it all too. Hooray! But as the Israelites crossed through the Red Sea on dry ground, Pharaoh came chasing after them.
This Pharaoh dude, come on, man.
Tell me about it. But God made a way for his people to get away safely across the Red Sea. After they made it through, all the water rushed back over the Egyptians with their fancy chariots and huge army.
Wapow! Kazam! Take that, Pharaoh.
Yep. When Miriam saw Pharaoh's chariots and horses go into the sea, she grabbed a tambourine and started singing and dancing, praising God for all that he had done for them. Then all of the women followed her, singing and dancing too.
I'm feeling a viral video coming on. At Musical Miriam. Coming at you, world.
A few thousand years too early, dude. Another fun fact about Miriam, she was also a prophetess.
What now?
A prophetess. God gave her messages and she spoke them to his people.
Like text messages? Coming from God? Super awesome.
Kinda. God used Miriam to do some awesome stuff, but things started to change when her thoughts turned negative about her brother Moses.
Sibling fight, classic. We've all been there, am I right?
This wasn't Miriam and Moses getting into arguments over who gets to pick tonight's movie or who called front seat in mom's minivan. Miriam started thinking things about Moses that just weren't right.
Like that he was breaking the speed limit or littering or putting pineapple on pizza? That should totally be a crime.
No, nothing like that. Miriam and her other brother, Aaron, got seriously jealous and started saying bad things about Moses. Miriam was like, God has spoken through us too. She started thinking that it wasn't fair that Moses was the one who got to be in charge.
And now the boxing gloves come out. In this corner, we have the writer of songs, the prophetess Miriam. And in this corner, Moses, the leader of God's people. Who will prevail in this epic showdown of sibling rivalry?
Whoa, dude, too far. There wasn't a fight, promise. But God did tell Moses, Aaron, and Miriam to come have a meeting.
It's about to get serious.
Yep, God came down in a pillar of cloud and spoke to Miriam and Aaron. He reminded them that he is the Lord, and he is the one who chooses to speak to Moses face to face, very clearly. He asked them why they were saying things that weren't right about Moses, and then he left.
And mic drop.
When the cloud left the place where they were standing, Miriam looked down and realized something wasn't right with her skin.
Sunburn? Should have gone with SPF 50 when hanging by the pool, Miriam.
No, it was a disease that caused white spots all over her skin.
Big yikes. I bet Miriam was like, call an ambulance. I need a doctor, stat.
Well, Moses prayed to God and asked him to heal Miriam, and he did, but there were still consequences for Miriam's wrong thinking. She had to stay outside of their camp for 7 days with her skin disease before God healed her.
Ouch. That's worse than being grounded and losing your Xbox.
Totally. Miriam let her thoughts become too focused on herself, which led to jealous thoughts that just weren't right.
Hold up. We won't end up with some crazy skin disease when we have wrong thinking, right?
Yeah, we probably won't end up with a skin disease when we get jealous or think about wrong things. But God does want us to catch our negative thoughts and let him change them so we can think about what he says is best. And when we test out thinking God's way, we'll see that what he wants us to think about is really what's right.
God was able to speak to Miriam, and he had consequences for her for what she did to her brother.
And she let her thoughts get too far about her brother.
But God wants us to catch our negative thoughts.
Yes, and he wants us to think about what is right.
And that brings us to our takeaway for the day.
Stand up with us, KE friends, as we go over our takeaway for the day. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Think about what is right.
What is right?
That was so good, KE friends, but this time let's do it all together. Ready?
Think about what is right. Man, that was so cool. I love that we involved a friend in that one.
Yes. Let's stay standing as we go over this week's Bible verse.
Don't live the way this world lives. Let your way of thinking be completely changed. Romans 12:2a. Don't live the way this world lives. Let your way of thinking be completely changed. Romans 12:2a. Don't live the way this world lives. Let your way of thinking be completely changed. Romans 12:2a.
I'm closer to you, but I feel like I'm so far away. 'Cause I let my fear get in front of my faith. I'm back and forth like a wave in the wind. But I hear your voice and it's pulling me in. It's pulling me in. I wanna walk on water, take a leap, and step out knowing you will let me sink. I wanna trust you deeper, live like believing that you are everything you say you are. 'Cause of everything you say you are. Everything you say you are.
I prayed for your proof and I've asked you to give me a sign. But you already did and you traded your life for mine.
You called my name through the rain and the wind. I hear your voice and it's pulling me in. You're pulling me in. I wanna walk on water, take a leap, and step out knowing you won't let me sink. I wanna trust you deeper, live like believing that you are everything you say you are. 'Cause of everything you say you are. Everything you say you are. You're the start and the ending. You're the reason for living. You're the beat in every heart. You're everything you say you are.
I wanna walk on water, take the leap, step out knowing you won't let me sink. Trust you deeper, keep believing that you are.
I wanna walk on water, take the leap, and step out knowing you won't let me sink. I wanna trust you deeper, live like believing that you are everything you say you are. 'Cause it's everything you say you are. You're the reason you say you are. You're the beat in every heart. You're everything you say you are.
You guys have done amazing today. I've loved getting to learn with you. Let's reflect on what we learned. Our first question is, what can cause us to think selfish thoughts?
Our second question is, have you ever thought about something that was wrong and made a choice you regretted?
And our final question is, when we let God help us think about what is right, what does that lead to?
Another awesome part about our friendship with God is praying to Him.
That's so true, Steve. I love getting to talk to God. I mean, He is our forever friend, right? Let's close our eyes and pray to God right now. God, thank you so much for always being there for us and for always helping us through those bad thoughts.
God, you tell us many, many times that you are good. So whenever we may have bad thoughts or negative thoughts, may we turn them to you, a good, good Father. May you take those negative thoughts and help us through them and turn them to good. We love you so much.
Amen. I love that we learn to think on things that are right today.
Like how it's right that your heart is about the size of your fist.
Whoa.
Or how it's right that more fish don't have eyelids.
Interesting.
Or how it's right that horses and cows sleep standing up.
Standing up. Those are all right and super interesting. But is that what you all meant by that?
Well, wait. Well, not exactly. When I said think about what is right, I more so meant things that are good for you and what God wants.
I cannot wait to take all the things I learned today and to use them throughout my week. I'm going to sing those songs to myself to remember what I learned in the verse. And remember, think about it. If I do, I will choose to think about what is right.
So good, Steve. Me too.
Until next week. See you later, KE friends.